Do you need an insomnia coach? You might not. Insomnia is confusing enough as it is. I want to give you all some clarity if working with someone like me might be helpful. For those of you new to the channel, my name is John. I'm an insomnia coach. I suffered from chronic insomnia for over 7 years. Now I help other people overcome their own insomnia when sleep hygiene, medication, and CBTI don't. First, I'm going to go over the cases where I think you wouldn't need to work with someone like me. I don't think you'd have to worry about working with an insomnia coach if you've had just a few nights of difficult sleep recently, especially if you have a really good reason why sleep hasn't been happening to you. Maybe you travel to a different time zone and your sleep schedule is still adjusting. In that case, that's a fairly normal situation and it will most likely sort itself out on its own. I don't think you need to spend that much more time or attention on it. So this is a bit outside the scope of what an insomnia coach would do. I don't have the expertise to try to optimize your sleep or get the most out of it. So if you're considering working with someone like me for that reason, I don't think we would be the best fit for that sort of job. This is another thing that's outside of my expertise. Although sleep apnea and insomnia can go hand in hand, if you strictly just have sleep apnea and looking for support for that, that's not really something that I could address. If you're not sure if you have both sleep apnea and insomnia, I would highly suggest you keep watching. I wish I could guarantee sleep for one special crucial night. That's a very common thing that a lot of my clients ask me about. They have something really big planned the next day. But I can't guarantee sleep for one super important night. What we want to look at is sleep in the big picture. It's sort of like looking at the stock price over time. We don't care if the stock that we bought goes down one night. We care about if it gets better and better long term and stays there. Now let's look at examples of where it would be good to work with an insomnia coach like me. Your sleep over the past few weeks, months, or years looks something like this. Usually people with insomnia, their sleep kind of looks something like this. They go through a bunch of medication or supplement-based solutions. Unfortunately, people only start to work with an insomnia coach after they go through an enormous amount of suffering. I made the same mistake myself, so I totally understand. Without insomnia coaching, typically speaking, you stay either in yo-yo land where you have this up and down sort of sleep, or you don't even get those peaks at all. That's typically what happens. With insomnia coaching, typically speaking, what we see is that you still yo-yo, but you do an upward oscillation as well. So you get a new high, a new high, a new high, and then at a certain point sometime down the line, our sleep returns back to consistently good quality and duration. A big reason why I make these videos is I'm trying to remove all this completely unnecessary pain and suffering that takes place before somebody decides to work with an insomnia coach. Unfortunately, people only start to work with an insomnia coach once they suffer for so much that they reach such a strong point of desperation. For some people, it can last for literally years, like it was the case for me. This was the mistake I made. If I had worked directly with an insomnia coach sooner, my insomnia would have lasted 6 months instead of 7 years. 6 months, 7 years. Although the DSM-5 has the criteria for chronic insomnia that it needs to be at least 3 months long and having at least 3 nights a week of difficult sleep, even if it hasn't been 3 months yet, maybe it's only been a month or two, and you find that you're thinking about sleep constantly and trying to figure out how to make sleep happen and how to handle the consequences of another difficult night, then that's probably a good indicator that it might be helpful to work with. This is very important to a lot of people. It certainly was important to me. I remember when I was going through insomnia, I sought out help from therapists, medical doctors, and although they were all well-intentioned and on paper extremely qualified to help me in this one specific issue, it was discouraging to me that they didn't really get what I was going through. I've also had clients who had worked with therapists who were classically trained in CBT and were familiar with CBTI, but my client wasn't really satisfied with the help that they got. Not going through insomnia can be a very limiting factor when it comes to providing people help with insomnia. I imagine it would be similar to a substance abuse counselor who had no personal history with substance abuse. It might make helping somebody that much more difficult. That's of course not to say that you can't be a great insomnia coach without that experience. It just can be a factor. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please feel free to do the usual like, comment, subscribe stuff. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please feel free to do the usual like, comment, subscribe stuff. Here at Insomnia to Peace, I provide coaching services for people looking to overcome their insomnia for good.